Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome again to Usala Media. My name is David Torres, and of course, you know you're on an hour with Dave. And we follow just a quick follow up about Sunday's event. We had participation across the United States with churches with respect to coming out and giving their services outside of the church and reinventing themselves and getting out to the public. And I think that was a big success. And we're going to be doing more of it because as a follow up to all of this, I believe that it is time for churches and ministers and pastors and all these people who say that they love religious freedom to stand up because you guys are kind of falling behind the ball. So um, that's going to be a follow up piece that we're going to do. And in the future, we're also going to have challenges to individual programs to get out here. One of the next series of shows we're going to have is going to be regarding the churches, their understanding, and start questioning some of the things that's important to them. Like, for example, how they stand on abortion, um, how they stand on religious freedom, and how they got to play a role if they want the religious freedom to keep going. Because just a hint of what we're going to be discussing so everybody can get ready for the beginning of it for next Thursday is that in this country, since the abortion law has been passed, there has been over 50 million abortions committed in this country. 50 million. That's a lot of babies and a lot of money in baby parts that certain people were making. So we're going to get into all this. It's going to hit all kinds of angles. And if you are for abortions or against abortions, um, you'll be able to chime in and you'll be able to give your opinion and your questions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But trust me that I'm going to hit them hard. I'm going to hit them from all angles. And we're going to make sure people understand that with the seriousness of what we are looking to. Another topic that we're going to hit hard on, and I'm going to hit on today, is I want to talk about the elections for November 3rd. Everybody, everybody better get a grip on what's happening in this country. It is so important that November 3rd, people get up, get to them polls. Don't if you don't need to do if you're not sick, if you have no way of getting to the polls, it's one thing. But if you're not sick and you're an able-bodied person, don't take a chance of your vote being stolen. Get up, go to the polls, and vote for the person you think is best to lead the country coming out of the coronavirus, is the best person you think is here to stop China from taking all of our jobs. Think about, is the person's history enough to get us out of trouble? We're going to have a lot of challenges. I know that our country is going to bounce back, but if we make the wrong choices, we could be looking at a Venezuela. We could be looking at what happened in Cuba. And there's a lot of other examples. If anybody doesn't know, look at China and Japan and the history of Moes, his historic leadership and how the people suffered under him. Um, and I challenge because one of the things I do is I challenge younger people because I think that schools don't let them learn what happened in history, and that's part of what's happening out here in our community, and our with the violence, with with what's going on, is that the youth are not being taught of the mistakes that we made in the past. This is not a perfect country. We made a lot of mistakes, but they ain't nowhere better than here. At least here, if we with our democracy and our republic, we can try to fix things that we see are wrong. Violence is not it. I oppose violence. I think people need to be able to protest peacefully. Um, we need to listen to our youth because, trust me, if I didn't have the young men with me running that booth on the other side, I wouldn't be here doing this right now because they are brainiacs. But we're doing a disservice to them by not making sure that they see some of the pain and suffering and the things that went on even in this country and what's happening around the world to young women and children. Abortions, 50 million abortions. You don't know if we've already killed the next Martin Luther King. You don't know if we killed the last Kennedy, the next Kennedy. You know, these are things that we have to teach our kids and the importance of it. And I'm going to get into all that with the abortions and stuff maybe later on and how we're going to challenge some of these churches because the churches are hiding behind doors and they need to take responsibility. And I'm going to address what I find P's and Q's and positives and negatives. And you ready for this? I'm going to hit both sides, Republican and Democrat. So I'm going to show you a couple differences between the two parties and then get you to start hopefully thinking, challenging, and researching. And maybe here's the best part of all of our kids that are out there that really know how to manage their way through the internets and all, you can actually make it a day and sit down with them and said, help me to help you with my vote, and have them scroll through and read through you and show you and research stuff with you so that if he or she is getting close to the voting age, and if he or she is not, he or she can see where she's helping her parents or her grandparents to understand what is coming up in November. That's really, really important. And I keep pushing that we should come together. I know I bug my grandkids like there's no tomorrow when it comes to helping me look stuff up. Because, hey, they're good at what they do. So, anyway, that was my opinion on what's happening. We're going to get to the show. All right. And I'm going to start off with the school system. We all know schools have started to open up and they're trying to do this virtual and they give laptops to the students, et cetera, et cetera. Well, let me tell you exactly what I expected. If you have a single mother with 3 kids and 4 kids at home who has probably dropped out of 8th grade, 9th grade, she's lost. She's lost in trying to help the kid manage his way through getting a days of class in. She has 4 kids to try to deal with. And it's really difficult. In the time that they're spending with the kids and the way the virtual classes are set up, guess what, people? I'm afraid that we'll have the lowest number of kids passing from one grade to the other in this country that has never happened before. Because unless you have the time, unless you know what they're learning, how many parents out here, even when they're working, imagine a single parent out here with 4 kids and 3 kids. But how many parents out here who are in their 40s and 50s can do what an 8th and 7th grader is doing in math today? I can't. And I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I can't. So, you know, we're already having parents. I have parents coming to me saying, wow, this is not working out the way I thought. And this is not working out as easy. And we have a problem with that because how are you going to manage kids? What are you going to pick 1 out of the 3? What are you gonna do? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Stupid goes as stupid comes. I mean, what do you? And do you pick the one that you're gonna support and try to get all the help for? I mean, they can't do it. They need more help. They need in class, and these teachers and these unions need to stop playing their games. Some of these unions, you know, when they want to open up, when they close school choice. Literally, they're not talking about the virus. They're talking about they don't want to open until school choice is taken away. Charter schools. That's a joke. It's a joke. We're spending money, it's so unnecessary. So, anyway, we have a student. This happened just today. William Floyd, right? Not William Floyd High School student. His name is Maverick Stone. He's 17 years old, wants to attend class. On Tuesday, gets suspended because he wants to have class in school, goes back to his school on Thursday to attend class, and got arrested. Yep, they arrested him. They arrested him because he wants to go to school. Now, could you imagine if you got kids that you can't get them to sit still for 10 minutes and you got three of them and none of them wanted to go on to school and you give them a laptop and you split them out? How in the world are you going to control these three kids to get them to learn? The teachers, the unions, the governors, and the mayors are blowing smoke up your you know what. Because the students need to get to school. His argument was pretty cool, and people out here, the younger students that I'm talking about, saying they know very well that the people that are catching the coronavirus are not catching it in the classroom. They're catching it in frack parties and beach parties, etc., and group parties. So if that's the case, why are you allowing it on campus? Spread out your students more. Come on. Open up the schools and stop playing your games. You're a bunch of clowns that are out there, these governors and these mayors. Now they're going to blame stuff like that. There's such a blame game. They're using your kids as a political pawn. And I'm going to see what my guys have to say. Hey, any of you guys want to come in here and talk about this? I'm actually going to challenge my guys to come in here.
I could step in for a sec.
Okay, there you go. And let's see how they
board.
feel. Now remember, my guys are not average guys. They're really smart people. Okay? So I could see them virtually doing what they got to do. And they handle my controls, they handle my shows, they handle everything. So this is not your average students. These guys are above average. And that's the difference. Because these guys can tackle anything. So you can't look at them and think that that's the average student. But introduce yourself.
I don't know if I'm live. Niall, am I live? I'm Christian. Just learning the ropes here, doing some sound engineering. But what was the question?
I was telling people that you guys are exceptional because you guys can actually maneuver through a virtual school. But what about the kids that can't? The families that have one parent and three kids or four kids, and can't kids that can't sit still.
Yeah, I mean, I think for people like in college, it's no problem if they can handle a 200-person lecture sitting still, they could probably handle a Zoom class. But when you go to these elementary level Zoom classes, it's really kind of tragic for these kids. They get so distracted. They have everything in their home to, get up and step away from the laptop or whatever device they're using. And what if these kids don't have a proper laptop and then
well, the schools are providing some laptops and some tablets. The point is, how do you do it with three kids in a class in a home?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer. I don't think anyone has the answers, man. I wonder if some parents are thinking about more homeschooling now. You know?
A lot of them are,
Yeah.
but again, you have to be able to devote the time, and the parents have to be able to understand what the students are learning.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what I learned, you guys ain't even learning anymore. Did you learn about? We talked about public libraries last
Yeah.
week. Remember? When was the last time you were at a library?
Yeah. No one goes to libraries anymore, man. I couldn't tell you where the nearest one is besides the one on Temple's campus. And I guess the school library doesn't really count because I'm not going there to check out books. I'm going there to
Study.
use the computers, and do some work and study. Yeah,
So this is my point. Now you have, how old are you now?
I'm 21. Recently turned 21. Yeah,
21, single.
I have a girlfriend.
Has a girlfriend. Oh, sorry, girls out there, but he's got a girlfriend.
Sorry, ladies.
But he's 21 years old. This is a difference. He can manage. He can deal with what's happening. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
This is the disaster coming. A disaster.
And it's like you think we're geniuses in there, but really we have probably an isolated kind of intelligence where there's certain things that make sense to us, and it's almost like kids won't even get the opportunity to figure out what they want to focus on learning if they're in their house all the time, and they're not interacting with other kids, figuring out what sparks their interest, what's boring, what's pointless, has meaning. You gotta have the right environment to figure that stuff out, or else you just become some kind of maybe a parasite, maybe a loser. A lot of people devolve into these terrible versions of themselves when it's like, everyone gets a chance to make the right decisions. And
Well, I appreciate you coming out. There you go, guys. We're gonna be going on a commercial break, but you know what? Maybe we should have a special with some students in here, and have them talk to you about what's happening. Talk to you in another minute.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother ya?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Oh, welcome back, everybody, and I hope you like that. You see, I'm going to have a segment here where um, I bring in the students, and I want to have a segment where I can have. I'm gonna try to have at least three, and have some people call in so we can have younger people coming in, and we can get their opinion about what's going on. Um, we can have an opinion on their opinions on what's happening, and how they politically feel. Because you know what? Everybody's trying to use the younger generation, but I don't really see anybody actually talking to them, seeing where they're at, seeing what they feel. I mean, this young man that's here with me, and I got two of them in the booth here. Let me tell you, I have so much respect for them. Intelligent young men who I don't believe can easily be manipulated. A matter of fact, I will lay money down that you're not going to manipulate any of them into thinking anything unless they research it and they understand what's going on. It just ain't happening. And even when they get an opinion, they'll listen because they listen to me and then they go back and check out what they got to do. So I believe that the younger generation is being used. But if you start to reach them and listen to them and understand what they want, they got issues too. They got issues too when it comes to school, dude. You know, if they go and become engineers, like my guys may probably be here, by the time they're out of college, man, they're in debt. They're in debt if they don't have grants and they don't have loans. If you want to be an orthopedic before you come out and you finish, you're $250,000 in debt. Before you turn the key, before you fix somebody's big toe. You're $250,000 in debt easy. So, you know, I'm sure that these students have a lot of issues and they need to be listened to and they need to be talked to. And I'm going to tell you something that every time I speak to one of these college students, I get amazed how they think and what they feel. They have opinions, they should be listened to, and you should be working with them. Because I love working with my guys. I'm going to tell you, I love it. And UCLA is going to have more students here. UCLA does not discriminate in either party or play favorites to either party. But UCLA is going to be having programs here with Temple students and a few other students. And let me tell you, we are happy to have them here because they're full of energy. Their minds are open. They can listen. They can give you opinions. All right, let's move on to my next segment. I'm talking about bringing on a little bit of the crime that's happening in the inner cities. You know, in the last 3 months, a dozen police officers, police chiefs have resigned in the last 3 months. A dozen, okay? That's devastating for the police department. Devastating for security of the public. It's devastating when you have mayors and governors tying the hands of the police to the point that you have police chiefs resigning. That's not funny. New York City alone, 6 majority cities in the United States, 1,000 police officers have already resigned. Okay? You look at some of the films of activities with the protesters and fighting, and you're wondering, where are the cops? Well, let me tell you, a lot of them are resigning. New York City alone, 75% have filed for their retirement. Early retirement or present. 75%. This is ridiculous to think that we keep saying defund police. Let me tell you something. I want to give a shout out to Al Sharpton. You know, that's one of the guys that you know that I've had criticism against, and if he knew me, we will probably be two of the people combating against each other on all kinds of things. But I got to give him his props for one thing, when he said we have to work with the police. We cannot have all this crime and all these things going on in the cities and the police leaving. Listen, if there's no cops, it's going to get worse. You're not going to have a 911 system. Do you really want to have 911? Explain your problem. And when you go to say, I had a home invasion, somebody's been shot, and then you hear recording saying, if it's a rape, push 1. and a social worker will call you back. If it's been a home invasion, push 2, and we will send some counselors down to you. Come on, are you really going to do this? It's just ridiculous what's happening to the police department. I'm not for defunding police, okay? And I'm not for just discriminately accusing people of doing things. Yes, there may be some bad apples, and yes, they actually are some bad apples in the police department. But there's bad apples in everything you do. Everything you see, everything you hear has bad apples in it. And it could be medical, it could be lawyers, it could be plumbers, electricians, police officers. Yeah, there's bad apples out there. I bet you there's been some firemen who have had people who were firebugs when they were kids. Who knows, man? Come on. You know, the world ain't perfect. But if we don't get control of what's happening out here in our cities, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And defunding police, I don't know who the hell you think you are. But I'm going to tell the governors and the mayors now, that people are going to get tired of you. People are going to get tired of the games. People are going to get tired of you put them out to sacrifice them as your political pawns. People are going to get tired of it. You know why I know? Because people coming to my door. People coming to my office. People are ringing my phone. And they're saying that they're sick and tired. Just like the school system that I went through today, where the lady came to me and a couple ladies, and they were saying they just can't manage having 3 kids, and they're all on the computers. And on top of it, they don't understand how to do anything. Okay? So what you're doing is creating a situation where you know you're going to need a bigger government because you're going to have to take care of people because they did not graduate. You're creating the need. You're creating people who are going to be needy to the government because jobs are growing. Jobs will come back, but as they come back, they're going to be jobs with a little more technology to it. Jobs with a little more pizzazz and speed to it. You know? You don't have, I doubt it, a box of cookies being filled by hand. It's all by machinery now. Yes, you're going to have some people there. But listen, we need people out there. Mechanics are changing. Every day, every leap that you have, automobiles are changing. Okay? You just can't have it. You need to have the right system and growing and keeping people home, not letting them go to school, not letting them learn, not letting their brains open up to see what they want to do. That's a crime. And you all know you're having it. And your unions, you know you're doing this to them. You know you're using them as pawns. You all do. The governors know, the mayors know, city councils know, across the country. You claim that so many people died in the coronavirus, but you didn't tell the public that the major cities, the governors and the mayors, made seniors' homes, senior citizens' places, take sick people infected with corona and put them in with the others. Made them do it. So they need to stop playing games. You need to stop listening to what people are telling you. Churches are closed down. Where do you think, you know what? Damn it. You go to Walmart. Does anybody have Walmart around them? They go to Walmart. I can't see you raise your hands out there anyway. So you have a Walmart around you. You go to a supermarket around you. You go to pharmacies around you. Do you not stand online? The answer is yes. Do you not stay 6 feet apart? The answer is yes. Do you not wear a mask? The answer is yes. It's still controversial whether masks are working or not. Then tell me this. Why on God's earth are they pushing mail-in ballots, when it takes you less time to post and go into a voting booth and voting takes you less time than standing on a line in a supermarket to order your damn cold cuts. But they're telling you they're doing it because of a virus. They're not doing it because of a virus. They ain't one governor, they ain't one mayor, and they ain't one city council that's doing this because it's because of the virus. They're lying to you. I'm telling you. David Torres is telling you that they are lying to you. It takes you more time to go to the pharmacy to get your damn prescription than it does for you to vote. They tell you you can't go vote that takes you 3 to 5 minutes to place your vote, but you can stand on the line at a liquor store for 15 minutes just to get in, to stand on another line to get checked out. Man, they're playing with you guys, and they're playing with you guys, and they're using you, and they're continuing to use you. And anybody here in Philadelphia wants to call Mayor Kenny, you can call Mayor Kenny, you can call whoever and say David Torres said that you're full of it. And that you're lying. And that they know they're lying. How in the world is this? How are we allowing this to happen? And you know what? Look at it. Your schools are closed where your polling places are. Your churches are closed where your polling places are. Do you really believe that they're not going to cheat? And if you are a Democrat voting the other way, if you are a Republican going the other way, there's no checks and balances to know what's going on. And the system is being set up to use you and cheat you out of what's your pure American right to vote. They're doing it right in front of your face. If you have 3 kids and you can't teach them and you can't give them the understanding and you don't have the ability to help them, they're letting your kids be stupid and your kids will be on welfare. Your kids will be given a tag and saying that they can't, they have a learning disability, and they're going to be given an SSI check. Is that the future you want for your kids? They're using you. They were supposed to pass a stimulus bill today. It did not pass. Did not pass. Now, you're still struggling figuring out what's happening with your kids in school. Let me tell you, private in the schools, I bet you them teachers, kids are being home studied because they know what they're doing. And if they're not being home studied, I bet you about 40 to 50% are going to private schools. Ain't that something? They want to close down the schools on you, but their schooling is going to be open. The government wants to hold back your stimulus bill on both sides. Can't come to it. But did you ever think, does anybody in city council's check get stopped? Did any state rep's check get stopped? Did any congressman's check get stopped? Did any senator's check get stopped? No. Not a one. Not a one. And don't be surprised in one of these stimulus bills, them suckers got to get a pay raise for themselves. You know, you got to stop playing politics, letting them play politics, and you got to stop listening to my whole family's been a Democrat or my whole family's been a Republican, and you got to start researching. 50 million abortions. Why is they allowing 50 million abortions and then 40% of them? I hate to tell you this. 40% of them around there are in the African community. So how is the African community going to grow? Answer me that, anybody. And I know I'm harping on it, but it's reality, and it gets to me when people just don't listen. If the population in the United States, and I'm going to come up with the numbers next week, and we're going to start this series. If the population in the United States is 11% African, and then you have 40% of abortions of 50 million being African Americans, well, guess what? Guess what? They're controlling the growth of your population. Wake up. Tell your pastors and your preachers to stop their nonsense, and you want to vote pro-life if that's what you feel. They're controlling the population of the African American, and we're going to get into African American and Hispanics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to break it all down to you. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we're going to go into the third segment, and then we're going to have our closing piece. But I hope that people are listening and are paying attention. These are some serious issues.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I wasn't sure if I could do it. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but the teachers, the counselors, they help you. One of the teachers was Miss Araceli. Miss Araceli, she gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll come over and she'll sit there with you until you get it. Thank you, Miss Araceli. I know you make a difference in people's lives because of the person and teacher you are. I wanted to be here because I wanted to thank you for helping me get a beautiful gift. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work. Getting your high school diploma, it is a life-changing experience. It really is.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ushula Radio. This is the Now with Dave. I know that I have a few people because my phone's ringing off the hook with some of the numbers I threw out. They're shocked. They're concerned about it. They can't wait to understand what's happening. I'm going to be talking to the producers here. Like I said, and we have in Ushula a group of young students who are doing some programs here, and I'm gonna have them be part of one of my segments to see what's going on. Now let's get back to business. No pun intended to your business owners out there, but here's what we're talking about. Everybody already saw the infamous tape with Nancy Pelosi getting her hair done because she couldn't have a hairstylist come to her house. God forbid her doggy gets the coronavirus or something. She couldn't get anybody to come to the house, but hair salons that were closed, except for hers and her private salon with her personal visit and getting her hair done, the whole bit. Yeah, she's got to look good while she rejects stimulus bills that would help business people and help the poor and help the working class that need it. But you already seen it. I know a few barbers that are down here in my community that I know, and a few business people that are down here. I know a personal friend of mine who's a bar owner who's having trouble because when they were closed down. And they had a problem with it, and they still have a problem with it with all the mandates that the city is having. And then we got political people. I'm not going to give names out just yet because I always like to check, who are saying that, we're We're gonna extend the cities being closed, and we may have to mandate that every city everybody wears a mask, and we may have to continue with the schools being closed down, et cetera, et cetera. Man, they know what they're doing, man. They know what they're doing. Wow, I want to shout and scream and tell people to wake up. Wake up, America. They're screwing you. Man, the business people are hurting out here. They're deliberately doing this. We have to look at what's happening. We need to open up our schools. We need to open up our businesses across. We need to make sure that in that next stimulus bill that comes out, if Johnny's fruit stand took a hit, what's it going to take to get Johnny's fruit stand back up? Maybe it'll be enough money to get his first order of fruits and vegetables so Johnny can open up his stand again. No offense to people named Johnny, again, I just used the name. But, you know, Susan's hair salon, what did you take a hit on? Let's get your people back to work. And what's it going to cost to make sure she has everything she needs so she can get herself together again? You know, and the local barbershops, man, come on, man. There's some young kids out there with their local barbershops. You just snatch the rug from underneath them. You know what? You barbershops out there and you little stores, man, start opening the hell up. But just open up. Open up, man. Like I'm challenging the churches, man. Open up your doors, man. Stop closing them. Let's get the feel of the life out there again. They're smothering, they're sucking the air out from around you. Open up your little businesses again. Get ice ski trucks rolling again. Anything we got to do to get our economy going, because you know what's going to happen? You're going to get, you may wind up with some political people in office who are going to say, we can't do nothing here, so we might as well start buying everything again from China. We can't afford that. Our economy can bounce back. Our economy will bounce back. We, the people, need to start telling the government what it is we want them to do. They didn't pass the stimulus bill. Well, guess what? If you opened up your store, your hair salon, your gym, etc., when they were holding you back and they closed you down, they threatened and they took your license and blah, 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 like they're doing in some cities and counties. Okay? Well, we need to go to Congress, both sides, and we say, no, you're not going away. No, you're the only thing open getting a full pay, and I expect you to stay open until you resolve these issues. That's what we need to start doing to the Congress. That's what we need to start doing to the Senate. That's what we need to start doing. You need some, no, you're not going to go away to make sure your kids are going to your private schools or your kids are being set up so that it can be home studied. No, our kids ain't, and we have problems in our education, and you're going to keep your you-know-what in there until you figure this out. And all you business people, city council keeping you up to date, your mayor's keeping you closed up, your governor's keeping you locked down. Guess what? You force them into the office, you tell them you're going to open, and you explain to them how they work for you. They voted you in, and vote them out of office. If you got city council there, you got city officials there, you got congressmen there. If they're not doing what they got to do, your state reps, get them out. If they're on the ballot, get them out. Don't take their shit no more. They're not doing their job. They're doing it to hurt you. You're a pawn. You're a checker piece. You know how they sacrifice and they jump one checker piece over the other? Well, guess what? You're a checker piece. They ain't even going to use you to crown themselves when they reach the other end. You're nothing. If you don't start standing up, you're nothing. The violence is going to grow in your inner cities with them playing their games. You're nothing. You're nothing because you've allowed them to start making every decision for you. When was the last time in the inner cities that the schools opened the doors and told you what they're about to teach your kids? This year, where the school curriculum is going. When was the last time? And I have people complaining to me, well, yeah, you go white people area, and they got the baseball fields, and they got the football fields, and they're paying attention. Look at their educational level. Well, you know what? Because the damn parents up there, you ain't open up the school doors till you give them a damn curriculum. That's not that they're better because they're white. They don't allow the school officials up there that are voted in to dictate to them what's happening with their kids. But down here, ain't nobody questioning anything. Give me the laptop. I'm going to go get the tablet. Your mayor is a joke. And they're using you, they're using your kids as a pawn. And I keep bringing this up, and you got to stop doing this. You got to stand up. You got to not let them do what they're doing to you. The crime rate is not going to stop. If we continue to let them do it, our businesses closed. Man, we need our little local bakeries. We need our little shops. We need to just open everything up again. And stop the nonsense. They know this coronavirus is controlled to a certain point, a certain way. They know. They're fear-mongering. They're going to give you enough fear. You know? The virus is killing seniors. But they didn't tell you that Cuomo and them sent out a mandate telling senior homes that they had to take the seniors in that had the virus. See, they didn't tell you that piece. They conveniently give you pieces of what they want you to tell. They want to tell you so that it eat up your mind. You know? Police killing African Americans and brown people. I guess brown people are Puerto Ricans and Indians and whatever. But you know what? What they don't tell you is, and I'm going to tell you now, that not one person killed is, to me, one person killed unnecessarily to me through violence, through racism or whatever, is one person too many. Before anybody starts screaming that I'm racist. Okay? But that's 2%. 2% of what's happening in deaths in their cities is attached, I believe, to the police officers. 2%. And I'm going to give you that number again. 50%. 40% of abortions committed in this country, of the 5 million, were African American. And then their little body parts were sold. 40%. You took cancer, you took the police killings, if you took the deaths of people dying on black crime, Hispanic on Hispanic crime, and illnesses like kidney disorders, etc. You combine them all together, them numbers don't add up to how many abortions and how many kids were murdered by abortions. Murdered. Doesn't add up. And you think that that's not trying to control our populations in the inner cities? Oh, man. You are so dead wrong. And you're never going to hear people tell you what I'm telling you now. You may never hear a pastor telling you what I'm telling you now. You may never hear a socialist studies person tell you what I'm telling you now. When you see the numbers that I'm going to bring in next week, and I want to bring them in, and I'm double checking it, and I'm checking my I's and crossing my T's, and I got staff doing it because I want these numbers to be as accurate as they can. Because everyone that's out there, I'm going to need you to boost that information to everybody on your Facebook pages, on your every way you can put it. Because we're going to lay out exactly what the government is doing and how they're controlling inner city populations, and they're making it where we have to be indebted to the government, where we have to be controlled by the government. And it's a shame. It's a shame, and I really think that you guys have to be here, have to be on my show. I'm going to have some interesting people come out if they have the guts to come out and talk about it. I'm going to show them statistics. I'm going to put it on my website. I'm going to put it out on my information. And I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of it at all. Because there's a lot going on, and there's got to be a one person telling you his or her opinions, but giving you the facts, not clouding stuff up. You know, all you guys that listen to CNN, you need to listen to USALA Radio, USALA Media. Because you listen to CNN, I believe, I wonder if my guys can check it. I believe that Nickelodeon has more viewers than CNN. I don't know if I'm going to bring that in as a statistic, but I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. And people listen to CNN. People listen to MSNBC. You want straight talk? Listen to USALA Media. We don't take sides in USALA Media. We give you the facts. We let you understand what's happening. You know, we're going to have this series start up next week. We're going to give you the information. And then I'm going to also have a challenge to different programs and organizations to come out and talk. And talk about what we're doing. But we're going to get ready to go on another break. I hope that you don't get discouraged, and I didn't push the buttons to get you angry about some of the stuff that I said. You know what? I'm not hoping that I didn't push. If I pushed your buttons and you got angry, so what? So be it. I must have hit a nerve. You know, life's you know what. And I'm not apologizing because I got on your nerves and I said something. Because that means you were not paying attention. And on my radio show, you're going to get the facts, and you're going to get what's happening, and you're going to be told. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, but you're going to keep coming back. You know why? Because it's an honest opinion that's being given to you. So we'll be back for the last segment in a few minutes. Thank you. What? Oh, that was, oh. I thought it was 4:15. Oh, what did we do? 17 minutes? Huh? Oh, I didn't know that was the last segment. Okay.